Hey everyone, welcome back to AI Verdict. So, what if your IDE could build an entire app for you just from a single prompt? Well, that's the big promise behind a new AI tool called Qoder. I've spent the last week or so really putting its autonomous features to the test, and honestly, what I found might just change the way we think about writing code.
And that's really the core question here, isn't it? We're not just talking about some fancy autocomplete or a little bit of help here and there. We're talking about a huge leap. What if your IDE could basically become a full-fledged developer on your team? Someone who can build whole applications from scratch. Let's see if Qoder actually lives up to that hype.
All right, so let's dive into what actually makes Qoder so unique. It really all boils down to its two main modes of operation. Okay, so first up, you've got editor mode. This is going to feel pretty familiar if you've ever used an AI coding assistant. It's got the code predictions, a chat agent, all the usual stuff. But the real game changer here is quest mode. This is where things get wild. This is where you switch from being the one who codes to being the one who directs, and you hand off the entire build to the AI. So with quest mode, your job is basically just to give it a detailed prompt of what you want to build. And once you hit go, the AI takes over everything. I mean, from planning the architecture to writing every single line of code, and even running the final app for you. It's completely autonomous. And, getting started with Qoder is super easy. It feels just like setting up VS Code. But what's running underneath all this is what's really impressive. It's backed by Alibaba, and it's running on a custom model they built called Qoder 1.0, which is fine-tuned specifically for this tool. And you want to know the best part? Right now, it's completely free to try, which is honestly an amazing deal for this kind of power. So to really see what quest mode was capable of, I didn't want to give it some simple to-do list app. No way. I gave it a really complex challenge: build a fully interactive JavaScript visualizer from scratch. And this is a genuinely tricky piece of software. This was the core of my prompt. I asked it to build an app where you could paste in some JavaScript, hit a run button, and then see this beautiful animated breakdown of exactly how the code is executing. The call stack, the event loop, the whole shebang. And I was super specific. I demanded line-by-line animations, next and previous buttons for control, a dark mode UI, and this was the big one: it had to be production-ready accurate. It needed to correctly handle all the tricky asynchronous stuff like promises, async await, and set timeout. So how did Qoder handle this big, complex request? Well, this is where it got really interesting. It didn't just start spitting out code. Instead, it did what any senior developer would do. It started by asking questions to clarify the plan. I mean, the intelligence of these questions is just remarkable. It asked for my preferred framework. I chose React. It asked which JavaScript features to prioritize, and it even asked about the best way to interpret the code. We went with a Babel-style interpreter to get that fine-grained control. Honestly, this is a level of detail you would expect from a human expert. This just shows you how methodical it is. So after I answered its questions, the AI went to work completely on its own and created this full architectural plan. It mapped out every single component before it wrote a single line of code. And the tech stack it chose was absolutely top-notch. It picked Next.js, Framer Motion for super smooth animations, and this modern combo of ZooStand and Immer for state management. This is a professional, production-ready stack through and through. So with the plan approved, I just hit build, and the agent went to work. The big question was, could it actually deliver on this ambitious plan? Well, let me tell you, the result was genuinely staggering. It took just 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, the build succeeded, and Qoder automatically launched the finished application on localhost for me to test. Just think about that, a complex application, from a prompt to running live in the time it takes to grab a coffee. That is insane. And the final product was just mind-blowing. It had a clean dashboard with example code snippets ready to go. And when I tested it, everything worked perfectly. It animated the call stack, it put promises in the microtask queue correctly, it handled set timeout, everything I asked for, it just worked. But just when I thought I'd seen it all, I found another incredible feature hiding back in editor mode. And this could be a total game changer, especially for team collaboration.
Yeah, tucked away in there was this feature I totally didn't expect. It's called the repo wiki. And this might be just as impressive as the autonomous coding part.
With just one click, Repo Wiki scans the entire codebase and generates comprehensive Wikipedia-style documentation for it. For my app, it created a full architecture document, complete with diagrams that visualize the code's logic. And get this, there's a synchronize button to automatically keep the documentation updated. This is a massive time saver for any team. So, what's the bottom line on Qoder? Is this the future of how we build software? At the end of the day, getting a well-architected application with a modern tech stack built completely autonomously in just 10 minutes, it's just incredible. The code quality is solid, and the fact that you can keep refining it with prompts makes this an essential tool for any developer to at least try. This really just opens up a whole world of possibilities. So I'll leave you with this question. If you had an AI that could take your idea and build it for you in a matter of minutes, what would you create? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. All the links to try it out are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.